Thank you so much for joining me today. First of all, big congratulations on your GMAT score, 695. Your score performance by section wise is as follows. With quant, verbal, and data insights, out of 90, you scored 88, 82, and 84. The percentile, however, varies probably because of the difficulty of the questions and the level of the questions, and more importantly, the position of the question. But overall, how do you feel? It's a 98th percentile, GMAT 695. How do you feel about this score, Rishikesh?
Yeah, like I think like I was aiming like 99 percentile, but yeah, and this is I think good for me right now. And I think this score will get me some good business school. I am aiming for an ISB, so I think this is very much sufficient for that.
Yes, absolutely. ISP is so much doable. You have a stellar profile as well. So, I mean, with the IIT tag, you should really apply for the M7 schools at the same time. I'm hoping that, you could really wish to
Yeah.
be in, unless you want to settle in India and only Indian schools. But could you just take about the entire journey, talk about yourself, what are you currently doing, and how did this entire idea of GMAT journey start from the very beginning?
Yeah, I mean, so like this dates back me to my during my college days. I wanted to like pursue some opportunities in tech, but yeah, I did not want to be limited myself to an engineer. I wanted to do much more. Like one of the inspiration would be like Sundar Pichai is what he's doing. So yeah, I mean that's why I felt like sometime probably later I will need an MBA to have that career growth. So I have been trying this GMAT journey right after my passed out of college. So I started actually last year in 2023. Initially, I gave my first attempt in August 2023, but that was not a very successful attempt. I got only 650 in the classic edition of GMAT, and yeah, like I felt like I was lacking a lot in verbal. So yeah, like I decided to explore more coaching, and one of my friend Ujwal, he also took top and he scored 750 in the classic edition. So yeah, I heard his experience. I heard that like how top helped him to get that 99 percentile, and yeah, like that convinced me to take the top journey. So I started with top in February this year, and yeah, like I took the self-paced course. I wish I could have taken the live course because the energy Sandeep sir usually has in his class is very amazing, and I feel that I missed out by taking the self-paced course and not hearing him live. So yeah, I mean, I improved in verbal a lot, and also GMAT focus was very much to the strengths because I'm an engineer, and engineers in India probably do quite well on math section. So yeah, I think that helped me a lot during this journey and to the 695.
Yeah, so it's a great start. We'll talk about the GMAT exam in a bit. How did the preparation all come together, given
Yeah.
the weaker areas and challenging areas? But the idea, the philosophy that you started off, that you really looked up at Sundar Pichai, because again, you're working at Google at the same time. It's a classic, I would say, a goal, a milestone, a goal rather, to really reach, because then in today's time, we're looking at someone who is looking after a billion-trillion-dollar company, and we're talking about tech plus management, STEM. All of these programs really require you to look at the business side of things. You have to really have that acumen as well. So,
Yeah.
having an MBA, if you are aligned towards business side, then being a core software plus business acumen is a great amalgamation. And that philosophy to
Yeah.
be at the topmost. I think that's what really matches from what Sandeep sir also constantly says throughout. If you that philosophy match was like a click, I hope so, with Sandeep sir. Now, with regard to your preparation, yes, you've taken self-paced course. So one of the things that comes along with that is discipline, right?
Yeah.
So before we start about how did you go about preparing, how did you manage and maintain that discipline throughout your preparation? It seemed like you did have a long journey, like a full journey with GMAT
Yeah.
preparation. So did you have any break in your preparation, and how did you, fill that break, if at all, if you had?
Yeah, I did have actually I did have some job switches in between the GMAT prep journey, so that was not kind of ideal. So I mean, when like I did start in February this year, and yeah, like probably I continued for a month. So one good thing about me is I don't have very hard time maintaining the discipline because I always I have been disciplined like my entire time, and I believe in consistency, and doing things every day will only improve you, and like not having a break. But yeah, like life happens in between, and you had to take certain breaks. But during a break as well, I try to at least dedicate like half an hour to GMAT prep, at least do some RC passages, so that I am not too much detached from the preparation. But I mean, that like helped me to not lose the focus, because GMAT is, I think, the exam of focus and extreme alertness that you have to keep during the whole time. Uh, yeah, and I would ideally not like, I would have preferred that I would not have a break. Then like my GMAT preparation would have been much shorter, like 3 months or so. But due to breaks, it extended to around 6 months.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, with regard to your preparation and all the sections that we have, what was
Mhm.
the most challenging concept or the section that you had to face, and how did you, go about tackling it? Any of the section, maybe we can
Yeah,
start
like
with
hands
verbal.
on
Yeah.
reading comprehension was the toughest section for me, and reading comprehension makes or breaks your day. So I started with in top, I started with reading comprehension, and I don't think there is a hardly a day where I did not do a reading comprehension passage. I at least maintained that at least I will do one passage a day if I don't have much time. So yeah, and I think GMAT, if you like ace RC, then I think you ace GMAT. RC concepts help in your critical reasoning as well. The skills help you in quant as well, because these days quant, the underlying concept might be very like third, fourth standard mathematics, but they feel like the GMAT feeds you with so much verbal jargon that RC helps you keep on your toes and not bothered by the details it presents. So yeah, like RC is a very very important section, and also they have introduced data insights now, and data insights, as Sandeep sir said, is more about reading skills than math skills, because math is a very elementary in that section. So yeah, I think that I was very much lagging in previously. Also, there is one more thing, that RC has three or four more four questions in succession in verbal exam. So if you don't crack RC, your score will decrease dramatically. So yeah,
Dramatic.
I think that was the section that helped me is the GMAT, I guess. And Sandeep sir's Octave methods help a lot in that. So I will tell, like I gave actually 2 attempts this month. So first attempt was in early August. So there I got some good science and technology passages, which I was very much familiar with. So I did not have very difficulty in comprehension. But on the second attempt, which I got 695, I had very tough passages. Like literature passages are very, very tough in GMAT, like at least most for an engineer. And I could not comprehend more, like very little of it. So the Octave really helps in that. So I did not lose my calm, just applied Octave, and yeah, got the good score on verbal as well.
So it just goes on to proving that you do not really have to be a master of verbal or master of quant
Yeah,
to get through the exam, because then there are these techniques that would really help you on the exam day.
right.
But to really things together, because then we are having this such a short conversation, but there's so much of effort that goes. If you're telling that you did take a break, but yet you did not take a break from studying, and
Mm.
you tried to really work on some passages, how many questions would you say that you have actually practiced, like for RC, for CR, for quant? Like, is there a number that you can give? More than 100,
It's
100,
very
200.
hard to give a number, but easily RC I have like uh, practiced the most. I think I would have easily practiced like around 300 to 400 passages. Just like yeah, like I would have practiced that. F- I For CR as well, I did practice a lot of questions. I think I did attempt all the 700, 800 level PDF questions that Sandeep sir has given me for CR. And I did not practice much of quant because I was already good in that, and in previous attempt as well I had done well that. And so DI is also the also section where I did focus this time, and I think I gave all the mocks on the top portal we had for DI. So yeah, I won't have a number for DI as such, but I would say I've easily practiced like around 200 questions, 150 to 200 questions on DI.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So on the exam day, because then I have to we are looking at the score again. So there was quant, you've got 88 out of 90. Do you recall how many questions you had got wrong?
yeah, I've got wrong one question.
One question, and the percentile dropped to
Yeah,
95 percentile. So
yeah.
when you look back at it, what did you think? Because then I'm assuming being an engineer, that would really itch you.
Yeah, that still frustrates me that I did not get a 100 percentile on that. But yeah, I mean, I thought I would definitely get it. In mocks, I was doing well in quant, but yeah, not
When you
sure
looked
why
at
I did that.
all the set of questions and
Yeah.
you saw which exact question you got incorrect, what did you think about that particular? Did you try to recall that question and try to solve it after the?
No, not really. Actually, I thought I had done all questions right. Not sure. Like that was an arithmetic question, I guess, but no, I did not recall the question. And I know from the fact that GMAT now gives you the detailed analysis for the focus edition. From there, I know that it was an arithmetic question, but not exactly sure which was it.
Right. No, which question was it? Because that would have really pushed, I think, your score to over 700. You were just
Yeah,
very close
yeah.
to that score. But in through the section, what was the order of your selection of the section in the exam, right? And why did you choose that particular order?
Yeah, so I chose the order quant, verbal, and then DI.
Mm.
Uh, I chose this because quant is something like quant something is my strength and it gives me a confidence during the exam. And also the fact that I usually finish quant 5 minutes before time so
Mm.
that I have some time to relax before starting verbal. Verbal is the section where I need my most attention, so I did not want to start with that. But yeah, like after getting confidence on quant, it helps to keep focus on verbal section. And then I took 10 minutes break, which is an option. You can take one optional break between two sections and then go for a DA.
Right. No, but in any of the section, did you find any of the questions being unfamiliar, or did you? Okay, with quant, obviously you said you had enough time. Did any of the other section, did you run out of time or just finished on time in terms of pacing?
I mean, in verbal, I was having a bit of a time constraint. Initially, I spent a lot of time uh, for a few questions. Then I felt like I need to pace up a lot. So, like one of the thing is that we should not focus on one question. However, like if you don't get it, because it won't matter if you get the remaining questions right. So yeah, I mean, it was verbal where I faced that some time crunch.
Not even in DI. DI also you were able to manage to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, DI was also manageable. Yeah,
And the questions were all good enough, as in you did mention the certain passages, literature type of passages were
most
slightly
of the passages were
difficult.
literature. I think only one passage which was not a literature, but again, that was I don't remember exactly the context of that passage, but that was also tough for me. So like all the RC passages were tough. I frankly did not comprehend anything from that passage, but yeah, somehow using Octave, I got through
You
those.
got through it. But any other question that you got stuck at some point where you started to take a lot more time than the regular time? None of the questions would say.
I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry.
I think maybe we can just see, pull out in the detailed analysis, right? Okay, there is another column which says that, how many
Oh,
minutes you
yeah,
say.
we can do that. Yeah, so I think some of the most time I took in critical reasoning question, but uh, I think it's a mix of questions. I won't say there was any particular question. Initially, also, I spent a lot of amount of time, like 3.5 minutes here, then more than 3 minutes here.
Right,
Uh, and here also, I spent a lot of time in between, like 4 minutes. And then I had to rush through the remaining questions,
right,
as you can see after 12.
right. And this was quant, is it? Which
No,
section?
this is verbal.
Verbal, right, right. Okay. And in DI also it was fine. Was it
Yeah, in DI also, I think I didn't face so much of time crunch. Uh, one question I got
everything is
4.8 minutes,
within
I guess, and other were very much
well
straightforward. Less
within
than,
3 minutes? Yes, yes.
yeah.
So, Rishikesh, just to summarize everything, how did
Mhm.
you structure your preparation entirely? And what would you say that, if you look back, what are the app for someone who's starting out? What would you say that someone should really consider doing this and someone should avoid, practicing or, some of the list of items that you would say that these are the checklist.
Okay. I mean, I would say like if you are good at like if you're an engineer, do practice quant as well because you don't want to lose even a single question. Then the percentile will like drop by like as you can see, my percentile dropped to 100 from 100 to 95 in
Right.
quant. So do keep practicing that as well. Don't just ignore that saying that yeah you will get through the exam. Some questions do trick you in between. Uh, a verbal is very important section, and RC. I think if when I aced RC, I aced GMAT. So that's my like if you had to summarize my session in one line, it would be this. So keep practicing RC every day, at least one question if you don't have the bandwidth. Uh, it's fine to take a break sometime, but you should not lose the touch with the GMAT, at least with reading, because GMAT is again like a test of focus, alertness, and not missing out the details, because it does trick you some in like in very silly questions. You know the answer, but you don't read the question right, and you will like get the answer, like you will mark the wrong answer.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's all I had to say as such.
Right. So, perfect. And thank you so much. Because it's the first time that we are looking, I'm seeing you.
Yeah,
Somewhere you resemble, and then I'm like, I've seen someone like him before, and I'm like, okay, you resemble a lot like Sharon Hegde. I don't know if you've gotten,
yeah, I know him, but okay,
but nobody has told you this, right?
no,
All right, but that's a complete different thing to talk about. But thank you so much for sharing these insights. Are you looking to apply this year itself, or are you giving some
no,
time?
I'm not looking for apply this. Actually, I need to like figure out like where I would go post MBA, because I have spent a lot of time doing GMAT prep that I have lost the sight. How an MBA would help me, I think it would be best to explore a bit before jumping into MBA, because I think I won't have much time when I start with the MBA degree to figure out the details like we usually have in a bachelor's degree. Like 4 years we have to figure out, so we can figure out during the journey, but like not this time around.
Yes, I totally agree. You really have to have a great hindsight. Why
Yeah,
this particular school and what are you planning post MBA? You'd really have to have that hindsight, because then during your MBA preparation, MBA journey, it's not like a syllabus to complete and then an exam to
yeah,
give. You really have to strive to understand the business and get to the best of the business world out there, and whatever the
yeah,
colleges would give you the opportunity to connect with. That you'll have to keep. It's like a bigger journey. You have to grab the opportunity that's there, and especially around this belt. Once you graduate, there's very few seats to. It's not like undergrad degree, right? So there's a
yeah,
lot of things that will go ahead in understanding and putting all the checklists, that why this school and what next. What is your 5-year goal like? Yes,
yeah,
absolutely, right. So all the very best. You do have Autry from a top 1%, who at least you can get touch base with him just regarding how do you streamline your initial process,
yeah,
and do talk to him. And then if you want to take a break of a year before you choose to apply, not a break in your career, of course, but a break in
yeah,
applying,
yeah,
then you can have a decision based on that, right?
yeah,
All the very best, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. And
yeah. Thanks a lot for hosting me.
yeah, no problem. And good luck, like I said. Thank you so much for choosing Sandeep, sir. If at all you do have your friends or family or anyone who you'd like to recommend, because then you've got the score, please feel
Yeah,
free to do so. We'd really be able to, because then we're celebrating 15 years of top 1%. We really exist because, because our students do, spread the word. And, with this month and the next month, we would really like to contribute it back to you, right? So if you do have any
yeah,
recommendation, please touch base with Richa or with me, and we will take it through. Thank you
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Good luck. Bye bye.
Bye.